Hopefully we've resolved the sound issue. Apologies for that. So I'll start again. So what I was saying was that in light of Boris Johnson's announcement last night, this is mainly going to affect our parks in Cornwall, in particular Lisky Hill, because we have a lot of caravan owners at Lisky Hill. And in effect, what the announcement means is that on Wednesday, which is a day before the lockdown in England comes into place, Lisky Hill will close to all owners, guests, and non-members of staff really from 2 o'clock on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, which is the 4th of November. We haven't got the meat on the bones yet in terms of the full guidance, and that's because the legislation hasn't been passed through Parliament. It's going through Parliament tomorrow. It's expected to go through. Labour have said they're going to support the Prime Minister's and government's suggestion to call a lockdown in place, so we put a lockdown in place so we can almost guarantee that it's going to happen. It's just got to go through the formalities of passing through Parliament. And I think at that point, then once it becomes enshrined in law, we will get the full guidance. But what we can tell you for definite is that from Thursday, England is going into lockdown until the 2nd of December. So it's a month-long lockdown. And the one thing they have said already is that all overnight stays in any form of second accommodation, whether it's a house, a cottage, a caravan, a tent, anything at all, are strictly prohibited. So it can't happen. So I thought I would come on here today because I'm sure there's going to be one or two questions, especially from owners at Lisky Hill. And as soon as we have more information, as soon as we know the full situation, because like we've said for a long time when we've been doing these special editions of the show, unfortunately, because of the nature of what we're dealing with, the measures that are being put in place are very reactive. They're not really proactive. So we know as much as you guys do, and we're just trying to interpret it in our own way. And the way in which we interpret things at this moment in time, without the benefit of seeing the full guidance because it hasn't been published, is that the park has to close in time for the lockdown on Thursday. So I'll take a pause there for a moment because I'm sure there's going to be some questions coming, Jem. And if there are, please feel free to answer them. And by the look of your face, there isn't no questions.
No, I just want to double check. Someone's told me that the sound is okay, and now someone else has said that they can't hear us again. So I just want to check. Can you hear us? Which might be a bit of a stupid question to ask because if they can't hear us, they can't answer. But let's see what comes through. If anything.
Well, we can hear each other, so
yeah, it's
there
strange.
must be.
We had the gremlins in last night. They started last night. No, all good. They're saying so.
All good.
Yep, they can hear us. That's good.
Brilliant. So yeah, if there's any questions, Jem, just interrupt me and I will take those questions. The other lot of people this affects really are caravan owners who live in England but have caravans based in Wales. Now, as things currently stand, because of the firebreak lockdown in Wales, you can't come into Wales in any case. But the Welsh government have said that the firebreak lockdown is going to end on November the 9th as originally planned. So what this will mean, unfortunately, is regardless of what the Welsh government decide to do after the 9th of November, for all of our customers in England, they won't be able to visit any of the parks until at least the 2nd of December when the England lockdown ends. So that's the main two things to take from this. The first one is that Lisky Hill will be closed at 2 o'clock on Wednesday until at least the 2nd of December. So all owners and guests will unfortunately need to leave. And the second thing to take from this announcement is that owners who live in England, no matter where in England you may be, unfortunately, even if Wales does go back to some sort of normality on the 9th of November, then you will be bound by the rules of your particular lockdown, which will prevent you from coming in, which will prevent you from travelling across the border or anywhere for that matter. And I would imagine that the Welsh government will put something in legislation to tighten it up a little bit as well. So unfortunately, the top and the bottom of it is if you are in England, you're not going to be able to enjoy your caravan, your holiday home, or any type of holiday until at least the 2nd of December. So that's where we're at with this at the moment.
Nothing come through question-wise?
No? Okay. Well, if that's the case, then that's a nice, easy one. I can get back to playing for the kids. We'll just give it a minute or so, and if not, we'll leave it at that. But we're just waiting for the government to put more meat on the bones. Like I said before, because of the nature of what we're dealing with, these things are very reactive, not proactive. I don't think that's anybody's fault in particular. You know, when you've got so many experts, so many scientific experts, and they each have slightly different opinions, and the scientists in Wales are saying things slightly different from the scientists in England and Scotland. It's a very difficult situation to deal with, and I'd hate to be one of the decision makers who are having to sort of guide us through this. It must be a very, very difficult and thankless task, but we can only do what we do, and at the moment we have to respect at the moment, at all times, we have to respect the rules that are in place, and that's where we're at. And no questions.
No questions.
Right. Okay. Well, that was a nice, easy one. Anything you two guys want to say?
No, just hello, Ian.
No, it's probably a bit early yet, and it's probably a bit early for people to sort of get to grips with it yet.
Yeah.
Well, look, we've made the announcement. We've sent an email out to the owners. If you've got any questions or queries, then please come back to us. We'll do our best to answer them. But yeah, we'll leave it at that then.
There we go.
Nice and easy. Good to see you both. Speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye.